What is up, YouTube? I'm Gal874 here, bringing you guys week 5 of the PCP. This week we take on Nico, coach of the Phoenix Solrocks. We are going into this game with a 4-0 record, while my opponent is going into this game with a 3-1 record. This is going to be the last game before we do the redraft. The redraft has already been done as I'm recording this video. It is up on my Twitter feed, so I highly recommend you go check that out. I will not be making a video on what I have dropped and what I have picked back up, but I might put it at the end of this video, so if you guys don't want to go to my Twitter, it will be at least there. I won't be explaining it, it will just be there. I do explain it a little bit there, so I highly recommend you go check it out on Twitter. But that is all the news about the redraft. Nico is who we are facing this week. To reiterate, he did replace Word, who we were originally supposed to face. We did replace him because he was joining a lot of battles, and he had a little bit of a negative attitude in the league, so he's gone. But we have Nico. And I actually know who Nico is. I'll tell you guys a little bit of a story before we break down this matchup. Nico was a part of the PEBA for basically as long as I have, and he was a part of the committee going into Season 2. And I applied to be a part of Season 2 of the PEBA, and the people of the committee were on and off about having me in the league. And Nico encouraged the rest of the committee members to accept me into the PEBA of Season 2, and because of that, I was able to participate. And that's only big because I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story again. PEBA Season 2 is a really big season for me because, honestly, if I wasn't a part of PEBA that season, I probably wouldn't have even came back to Draft League. So for that, I'm forever thankful for Nico for making sure I could be a part of Season 2. I learned the story when I joined the committee later on in Season 3. So big shout outs to Nico. And in that 2-year time frame, we never fought each other. So this has been, I've known him for like 2.5 years now, almost 3, and I've never faced Nico. Here we are, and hopefully we get a great battle. Unfortunately, he actually didn't build the team this week, as I learned, so it's not like the most competitive battle in the entire world, but hopefully, regardless, it'll still be a fun one. And that's basically it, and I'm going to head into the Teambuilder, and we're going to break down his team. So, Nico's team consists of Clefable, Corviknight, Frostmoth, Dracozolt, Dugtrio, Drapion, Snorlax, Durant, Sigilyph, Cofagrigus, and Quillfish. And I would expect him to consist of Clefable, Corviknight, Dugtrio, Sigilyph, Cofagrigus, and Quillfish. He can also bring Snorlax too, but those are basically the 6 or 7 I see him bringing. He's got a few new Mons and Frostmoth and Dracozolt and stuff, and Corviknight too, but I don't really see most of those doing any work except for Corviknight. And speaking of Corviknight is very annoying for my team. I have a Salazzle and a Raichu, my fire and electric type respectively, and Raichu has a pretty bad matchup overall, and while Salazzle's really good, he has a Dugtrio sitting right there, and Dugtrio's a little bitch because I had to run Shed Shell on Salazzle just to not die of that thing. And that's really annoying. Spoilers, I am ringing Shed Shell Salazzle, but Dugtrio makes it so I can't run like Black Sludge or even like Specs, because Specs Salazzle isn't that bad in this game overall, minus the Snorlax, and I guess Quillfish too, but Quillfish isn't the biggest deal in the entire world. I apologize if you hear that, my chair is a little crickety. Those are the 2 big threats. Another big threat is Sigilyph. It's something I didn't really notice at first, but a Cosmic Power Sigilyph with the team I'm bringing is really good against me. The only thing that really stops that is Mana Buzz, and that would require me to just stall out Sigilyph because I'm not going to be able to hit it that much. So that's going to be something a little bit annoying, but something realistically I could see him bringing is just a bulk up Corviknight, which again, very annoying for my team, and something like Dugtrio just to make sure Salazzle gets trapped. So that's basically the rundown of his team. Luckily, Flygon looks absolutely fantastic in this matchup with a few things chipped down and a few things gone. Flygon just kind of runs through this team, and I have enough bulk to be able to take one hit from something for the most part. So Flygon's looking pretty good, and that's basically the rundown of his team. What I am bringing this week consists of the Flygon, Salazzle, Ferrothorn, Mandibuzz, Crustle, and Conkeldurr. By the way, guys, from now on, I am going to skip over the EV spreads, saying them out loud, just to save a little bit of time. They're still on screen. But anyway, first Mon we have on the team is Flygon. Flygon is holding the Expert Belt with the Levitate ability, moves being Earth Power, Flamethrower, Rock Slide, and U-Turn. This is very, very good against my opponent. This speed is to outspeed max speed Sigilyph. I have the Rock Slide. Even though I am a special set, I do also have Rock Slide because Frostmoth, like an AV Frostmoth, lives a Flamethrower, believe it or not. And that is just absolutely insane. I'm not going to want to risk that if I have Rock Slide sitting right there. But again, this is really good against my opponent. His only real switch-in is Snorlax and maybe Cofagrigus. Snorlax doesn't really take anything from this thing. And Cofagrigus, while it doesn't take too much, it's going to get chipped down pretty quickly if he just keeps switching in on it. So that's pretty cool. Earth Power, a lot of his Mons on the physical side are very, they're ground weak, so that's why I decided to go for the special side. My brother actually brought that up to me, so shout out to him. And I have Flamethrower basically for Corviknight. I can take any one, even 2 hits from Corviknight if it's a bulky one. And Flamethrower is a 2-shot after rocks. So, or just keeping Corviknight low is just really important as well. And that's why Flygon brings so much value to this team. And it's just really, Grounded Fire is just stupid good against my opponent as well. But that is basically the Flygon set. Very good. It can take any one hit if I need to, regardless if it's from Corviknight, Durant if it's faster, Drapion if it lives a hit for whatever reason, Dugtrio. So you get the gist. Flygon's really good in this matchup. But next up we have Salazzle. Salazzle, as I mentioned earlier, is holding the Shed Shell with the Corrosion ability. Moves being Flamethrower, Sludge Bomb, Encore, and Toxic. This is a pretty cool set. I like the dual stabs really good. He does again have the Snorlax and the Qwilfish to switch in, though if he's not running a Muty Snorlax he could be poisoned, and that's not really a threat at that point. And Qwilfish is going to get whittled down pretty quickly, I would assume, so I'm not also too worried about that either. Honestly, also Qwilfish is usually known for hazard stacking, so if he decides to hazard stack I could be ballsy and stay in and Encore it into that, so that would be kind of lit. But Salazzle, fire typing is really good because Durant exists right there. The speed is to outspeed Durant, by the way, so I'm always outspeeding that. Corviknight, which is a big problem for my team, I can take it out with Salazzle at any point, really. Frostmoth doesn't survive a Flamethrower, as long as it's not set up, of course. And yeah, he doesn't really appreciate the Salazzle too much. And Clefable as well. This is really big for Clefable because I could probably switch into Clefable if I assume he's not going to click Psychic if he's an offensive variant. So that's pretty cool. And I do a lot to Draco as well. I'm just listening off the Pokemon at this point, but Salazzle is very, very good. But I am forced to run Shit Shell because Dugtrio is annoying and I cannot beat that 1v1. So that's why that's there. Third Mon on the team is going to be Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is rocking out the Leftovers and the Iron Barb's ability. We have a really cool set this week. We have Iron Defense, Leech Seed, Iron Head, and Body Press. I don't have hazards on this team because I originally was going to put it on Crustle, but you will see in a little bit why I don't. I wanted to do Iron Defense Body Press because it was so good against my opponent. Leech Seed for a little bit of recovery and Iron Head for the Clefable because I needed to hit the Clefable, let's be real. But after a +2 an Iron Defense, one, I'm surviving every physical hit on my opponent's side ever, and I'm beating every physical Mon, which his team's pretty physically biased, so that's pretty good, cool right there. And then Body Press doubles in damage, sorry. And I can just whittle down my opponent with Iron Defense and Body Press and get recovery back with Leftovers and Leech Seeds. So Ferrothorn's really good. If I one Iron Defense, that's all I need. And I'm not gonna say this beats Corviknight, but it deals with Corviknight. Especially if I get Leech Seed up, I definitely beat it. But without it, at least I can deal with it because I'm expecting a bulk upset. That's why I say that. But that is the Ferrothorn set. I really hope I'm able to get some work in with this Iron Defense Body Press set. If I don't, I don't. But I really hope it works. Moving on to our fourth Mon, we have Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is rocking out with the only item I ever run on this thing, which is the Boots, with the Big Pecs ability, moves being Knockoff, U-Turn, Taunt, and Roost. What I thought, because I accidentally forgot to put U-Turn on this when I was doing the battle. I went into the battle without U-Turn, and that was a little scary. I was spoiled, it didn't really matter too much, but it was definitely a very big threat. But this is basically my Dugtrio switch-in if I'm trapped in with Salazzle because Earthquake's not doing much, and Dugtrio is pretty weak, so Stone Edge isn't going to be doing too much either. Taunt is to make sure Curselax doesn't get out of hand if Ferrothorn's gone. Taunt is to make sure he doesn't hazard stack me like crazy. For Sigilyph too, because that thing's really scary with stored power and cosmic power. And then Corviknight as well to make sure like bulk up sub isn't really a problem for my team. So Taunt is the most important move on this entire set. Knockoff just to get rid of any items if he wants to run like Scarf Dracozolt. If I knock that off, then dealing with it's a whole lot easier. Berry on Snorlax, you get the gist, and then U-Turn just to pivot. It's basic Mandibuzz stuff. I love this Mon. That's all I really have to say about it. And we're going to move on to a more interesting Mon, at least for this week. It's going to be the Crustle. Crustle is rocking out with the Assault Vest. That's why there's no rocks or spikes on this set with the Sturdy ability. Moves being Stone Edge, Earthquake, Knockoff, or Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam is a guaranteed 2-hit KO on Clefable, and this is my main Clefable switch-in because if he predicts with Salazzle or Ferrothorn, it could be a bit of a problem while I don't have to predict with this thing. I just switch in on it. If it's offensive, it's going to hurt a little bit, but at least I can take any 2 hits from Clefable. It's also my switch into Frostmoth because Frostmoth's a little bit scary. I could just Stone Edge it and just nuke it into all hell. And those are the 2 Mons Crustal's mainly here for. It also switches into Sigilyph if he wants to just be a little bit annoying a set. Stone Edge has a high crit chance. Knockoff knocks off items again, just like Mandibuzz. And then the Heavy Slam mainly for the Clefable. I'm only a little bit skeptical about this because this gives Corviknight basically a free switch in, but if I have all the tools for Corviknight still around, it's not that big of a threat. So that's why I decided to run Crustle there in the end. So that's cool. Hopefully it puts in some work. I'm excited to use this thing. And then finally, we have our breaker. We have Conkelder. Conkelder has the Flame Orb Guts ability with Close Combat, Mach Punch, Thunder Punch, and Defog. Again, I didn't want to get Hazard Stacked, and I didn't have the room for Defog on Manabuzz, so Defog on Conk. This just punches holes into everything. Clefable is the best thing that can take it, and even then, Clefable still takes like 35% from Close Combat, and that's just insane damage. Sigilif is the best switch in. Same with Cofagrigus. Those two are very, very annoying for my Conkelder. I do have Thunder Punch for Sigilif, and as well as Quillfish, but but this thing is just mainly here just to punch holes into everything else that I didn't mention, and it defog things away if the Quillfish wants to hazard stack me, because he hazard stacked his opponent before me, so I was kind of expecting him to do that again. But that is basically going to be the rundown of my team. I like it a lot. I hope Crustle puts in some work. It's same as the Ferrothorn with his Iron Defense body press set. And then Conk is just going to punch a hole into something. But that is basically it. We're going to head over to the Pokemon Showdown, and we're going to watch the battle. Alright, we are here on Pokemon Showdown, and Ferrothorn and Conkelder are looking absolutely fantastic in this matchup. I also noticed there's no Corviknight, which is absolutely insane. I really thought Corviknight would come. But for a lead matchup, Conkelder looks like it's going to punch a hole in anything outside of Sigilif, so that's what we're going to end up leading off with, as I lead off with Conk as he leads off with a Quillfish, as he intimidates me, so that's whatever. I'm just going to T-punch this thing turn 1 just to get some damage off. I know my Flame Orb's not activated, but at least want to get something off on this thing, as he just sets up a spike on me, and I paralyze him turn 1, so, you know, skill right there. This time I'm just going to defog, because I can take any hit from this thing, and I don't want the spike up on my side of the field. As he goes hard Clefable, that's a smart play. I am going to go down to Crustle, because Crustle I did say was going to be my initial switch in, because I don't want him predicting early on, as he does not, and he just goes for Moonblast, and that does 40%. So this is 100% an offensive Clefable. I do have Heavy Slam, but I decided to actually go for the knockoff. I crit him. I decided this because if you want to switch out into almost anything to take the Heavy Slam, I'd rather do that knockoff, so I knock off an item. At least this way, Clefable's Life Orb is gone. Plus, I can deal with this Clefable offensively rather easily, as I can just go into Salazzle and click the Sludge Bomb. He brings out the Quillfish, as Sludge Bomb is only going to do like 22%, but I am chipping this thing down. Next turn, I am going to hard switch into my Conkelder here because I just want to T-punch this thing, and he does get paralyzed, so unfortunate. Maybe he was going for Spike or something like that. Hopefully I'm faster and he doesn't Destiny Bond me. Yeah, luckily that's what happens, and I'm faster, and I can knock out this Quillfish with Thunder Punch. So it's 5-5 right now, and I have my Conkin, which is a big threat to his team. Out comes the Sigilif. This is a big turn because I mentioned Cosmic Power was a very big threat, so I do not want to allow this thing to set up one for free. So I'm just going to click T-Punch as he clicks Tailwind, and I knock it down to its Sash. And that's really big because, one, the Sigilif is no longer a problem because I can just Mach Punch it on the following turn. And B, he can't be sent up on me, and I am going to be able to knock it out. So Conkelder just stayed in and beat a Sigilif, which is just great. And I can just basically wear off I can play around Tailwind as Dracozolt comes out. This thing is a little bit scary. I am going to go out the Ferrothorn hoping he doesn't click Fire Fang on the switch-in, as luckily he just clicks Bolt Beak. That does a lot of damage, so he's definitely either adamant or he's got some boosting item to him. I know Bolt Beak's a really strong move, but I still think that just did way too much. As I switch back out on the Kong. The Kong it's good because it can come in with Snorlax and click CC, but I'd rather deal with this Dracozolt this way, especially because he just clicks Substitute, and I need to break this thing with Mach Punch. And luckily because I did that, Bolt Beak doesn't get the power boost, and I break the sub. I could have clicked Close Combat here, expecting him to switch out, but I clicked Mach Punch in the end, and you're going to see Clefable takes 23% from Mach Punch. That's just insane how much damage that is. I know it's offensive, but still, I was blown away when I saw that damage. I can bring out Salazzle here and click Sludge Bomb. I'm shocked he hasn't gone into Snorlax as he just sack out the Clefable. I'm thinking that Snorlax might also be offensive, so I'm not sure, but you know, whatever. Here's a big turn because I am Shed Shell, and I do switch out hard on this Dugtrio as he just clicks the Earthquake. Yeah, Shed Shell really coming in clutch there because Salazzle's good for the Dracozolt still. He just throws up rocks, so he's not banded, as I just knock off his item and find out he's Life Orb, so he is pretty offensive. Obviously, it's a Dugtrio. This time he clicks Stone Edge. It's a Manabuzz. It does not care about Stone Edge, and I'm just going to knock out this Dugtrio with Knockoff. And we're up 4-2. Dracozolt was looking a little bit scary, and now this turn I'm going to go out into Salazzle. I do this because if he wants to substitute, which I'm expecting him to do, I can Encore him into the substitute and Sludge Bomb the following turn, which is exactly what he did. And that's great because if he had attacked me, I can just go in the Flygon the following turn. It wasn't a big deal. but because he did this, now I get a free hit with my Salazzle, and I can just click Sludge Bomb. As now the Snorlax finally comes out, it's finally here, and that does a reasonable amount of damage, just about what I was expecting it to do. I go on to Ferrothorn here. I know I still need this thing for Draco's ult for whatever reason, but he is going to double edge. It does a lot of damage, so he is max attack. I am going to get my Iron Barb's damage off, which is pretty cool. And because I don't actually have U-turn on Mana Buzz probably would have been the better play, but you know, it is what it is. Here I am going to click Iron Defense, and I do this for a few reasons. I know he is going to knock me out next turn regardless, but I do this just in case he wanted to double out into the Draco's ult. I was able to deal with the Draco's ult that way. But he doesn't do that, and that's fine because I'm getting a bunch of Iron Barb's chip and an extra recoil chip on the Snorlax. And Salazzle is going to be able to knock out this thing with Sludge Bomb. If I don't, and then if he clicks Rest, that's the only problem that will arise at this point, as luckily I get the roll when I knock it out. That Rest Snorlax is the only thing that would have been a problem, because at least I would have been able to revenge it with Flygon, and Flygon beats this thing. But so does Salazzle, and Salazzle is just going to click Sludge Bomb. And we are going to win this game 3-0. So GG to Nico. Thank you for the battle. I really appreciate it a lot. Hopefully we are able to face again, whether it be in the playoffs or in another league. Conk definitely put in the work in this game, as well as Salazzle, because Salazzle is the GOAT. And speaking of GOATs in other leagues, as I mentioned in my other draft analysis, Nico is a part of the group Crusaders, so we are helping each other out, as well as a few other coaches as well in that league in order for our team to win. So me and Nico are going to be working together a lot in the future. But again, thank you, Nico, and GG to you. We are going to move up to a 5-0 record with plus 15 differential, which is really solid. We can't go negative for the season. The changes, I did mention that we did go through the draft after this battle, as I am going to throw up the changes on screen. I'm not going to break them down in depth, but we did pick up Zeraora and like Mega Sceptile and stuff. I've used Zeraora a lot, so nothing really shocking. I picked back up Ferrothorn off the top of my head. Slow King's there, a regen Mon, that's pretty cool. I can't really remember anything else at the moment, but it's on screen there, whatever. You guys can read. You guys can pause it if you want to keep looking at it. But next week we take on Chris, or Doomshroom, coach of the Sydney Thunderous 2. I think that's what it is. He's got a new Mon that is very threatening. He has Melmetal, and that thing is a big threat, and this is going to be with the new drafts. So next week we have a new team, not like a revamped team. So make sure to look out for that. I will explain a little bit more in that video because I'll have the team there. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you like Pokemon Draft League content, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to head out of here. Have a fantastic day, YouTube.